Hey James, I want to thank you so much for coming in today. I really appreciate it. I know that it's a trip to come up here, and I know that with your work schedule and you having to work night shift, that it's a lot to ask for you to come over here because I know you haven't been to bed or anything yet. But the reason that I had you to come in is because I wanted to discuss your risk for caries after analyzing your dental chart and having you fill out the nutrition analysis, which I also provided a copy for you so that you can kind of look over what we're talking about as I'm explaining everything to you. But anyways, the reason why I asked you to come in is because after looking at your dental chart, after your dental exam, and then after looking over everything, after you have filled out your nutrition plan, I noticed that you are at a high risk for developing caries. And the reason that is for one, you are a smoker, and that is obviously going to increase your chances of caries as well as several other health problems. So that's one thing. And then also, if you look at your guide there, you can see the areas that I highlighted. And what that is these are all of the foods that are considered fermentable carbohydrates. And by fermentable carbohydrates, what that means is inside of the mouth, ideally, you want to keep a neutral balance, which is around 7. Anything less than a 7 is considered acidic. Anything more than 7 is considered basic. So it's best to try to keep those levels as neutral as possible. But what happens is every time we consume something, a fermentable carbohydrate, we undergo something that's called an acid attack. And what that means is the bacteria that lives in our mouth, it breaks down those carbohydrates. And when it breaks down, it produces kind of like a waste, and it's acidic. And that acid, what it does is it over time breaks down the enamel, and we know that enamel is, it's the hardest substance in your body, and it protects your teeth. But after so much, with the smoking and continuously sipping on sugary drinks and things of that nature, it can wear the enamel away, which leads to caries. So the reason I wanted to show you this is I want to explain to you that whenever you're drinking these sugary drinks, I can tell by your analysis that you do like to drink pop. So we know that it's hard to quit. Those can be addictive. Sodas is addictive, and people like to drink it. But if you can just limit it, or at least whenever you are drinking it, if you would consume it with a meal, because whenever you are drinking the soda in one setting, you're doing it all at one time, and that limits your exposure. And what I mean by exposure is with the acid attack that we were talking about, every time that you consume the carbohydrates, there's 20 minutes that your mouth is under an acidic state. So whenever you drink the sugary drinks, the Coke or whatever it is, with a meal, that helps to balance. You're drinking it all at one time instead of sipping on it throughout the day, and it helps to balance out the pH in your mouth quicker. Whereas if you're just thirsty and you go to the refrigerator and you grab a Coke and you're just sipping on it, every single time you take a drink of that Coke, you are restarting the acidic process, and that increases your chances of developing caries. So we have some goals and some things that that would be ideal for you. I know that your schedule is different, so eating breakfast and the mid-morning snack and a lunch, a typical diet that most people would have, is not ideal for you because you work night shift. So for breakfast for you is going to be like 4:30 in the morning. And also, I know that it's harder to come by foods and things like that that's healthy, and we try to stay away from prepackaged foods. So I did develop a meal plan that I think would be ideal for you and would go you'd be able to follow according to your schedule and things of that nature. So I wanted you to have that. And so as I was telling you, I explained to you the process of caries, the way that works. Whenever you have the bacteria in your mouth, and whenever you eat the sugary foods, which you can get from cookies, you can get from any kind of starch, anything that contains sugar, your sugar drinks, things like that, the bacteria in your mouth, it loves it, and it will break that down, and then after the enamel is gone, that's where the caries comes from. Based on your dental chart, you have some recession, and what that means is that you have the gingival tissue around your teeth has receded and has exposed your root surfaces. And the problem with that is whenever your root surface is exposed, your roots are not covered by that protective enamel like the crowns of your teeth are. So whenever you have your roots are showing that way, and you're drinking this pop and you're drinking these sugary drinks and all this, and 20 minutes, that's making your roots more susceptible to cavities also. And so, there's things that you can do to prevent that. You don't want to brush your teeth as soon as you're finished with the sugary drink, because once your mouth is already under that acidic state, and then you go rubbing with the toothbrush, that just increases more of a chance of the enamel being worn away. So you don't want to do that. But maybe you could swish with water after you're drinking the pop. But and even maybe like if you it would be great if you could limit the drinks altogether. But we know that that's hard. But if you could just maybe whenever you're thirsty, grab a water, or even unsweetened tea, something of that nature, if you're just wanting to sip on something and not so much the pop. And it's just baby steps, just something that leads to bettering yourself. But the most important thing is what I was getting at with brushing your teeth is the oral home care, because it's a 70-30 ratio. 30% is what I'll do. You come to your regular dental maintenance appointments, and we can remove any hard deposits and deplaque and all of that. But brushing your teeth and flossing at home and rinsing and having a good diet is, that's going to be the ultimate thing that keeps your mouth healthy, that gives you the neutral state. And not only just for your oral health, but it's good for your overall health as well. That's why we really encourage the smoking cessation. If there's anything at all whatsoever that we could do to help you, we can refer you to counselors. We can refer you to different products and things of that nature that's on the market that can help you. There's definitely help out there, and it's not something that we expect you to do overnight. It's not something that we expect you to do cold turkey, but that definitely is something, as your hygienist, as a healthcare provider, that I want to be able to express my concern and let you know that I'm here to help you in any way that I can. And I would like to follow up with you in 4 to 6 weeks to maybe see how you're doing, to see, how are you doing with limiting the sugary drinks, and how are you doing with your nutrition and the oral health care. And anytime you would have any questions or anything I could help you with, that would be great. So, do you have any questions for me?
Well, more than likely I'm not going to be to stop drinking pop, so would diet pop be better?
Well, that's a good question. Most people would think that drinking diet pop would be better because it doesn't have the sugar in it. But the thing about it is even though it doesn't have the sugar, it still has acid in it. So it's important whenever you're drinking things that you look at the nutrition label, and that you look at what it is that you're actually consuming. Because even though, as I said, it doesn't have the sugar, it still has that acid. So it's, you're automatically, creating an acidic environment every time you take a bite of anything or drink anything. You're already creating that acidic environment. And then if you already have the acidic environment and you're adding more acid to it, you're still creating an environment where the caries process is more likely to take place. So, plus diet pop just isn't, it's not recommended. It has some chemicals in it and things of that nature that you kind of want to stay away from. So if you want to have your pop and you're going to have it, just have it with a meal, eat something like that, so that that acidic balance isn't through the roof. And just baby steps, a little bit at a time, and it will get easier, but it's a process just like anything else. So, anything else?
Nope, that's all.
Okay, well, I really appreciate you coming in for me today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.